Hey guys, I know it's been an extremely long time. I think the last video I made was about a month ago. So I guess where to start. So the past month, from my perspective, outside looking in, the world's been pretty chaotic. Um, for me, it's been an interesting experience because it seemed like when everybody was voluntarily forced into their homes, I was voluntarily forcing myself out of my home. So when everybody was getting quarantined or put in lockdown, because again, I'm in Arizona, so we had the mandatory curfew, which ended a couple days ago, but strangely, none of that affected me because I ended up finding myself in a job where I was a essential worker, which for me just meant expendable, right? Um, but I went back to the gas station that I was working at. I talked about in one of my videos, that I left because I just felt unreliable, but I went back. This is my third time going back to them, and they keep taking me back because, I'm a good worker. I'm unpredictable. So I'm working for them again, but at the moment, it's part time because I'm working on starting something else that I feel will be more beneficial for myself and others in the future. So I'm slowly stepping out of there again, which I'm trying to do it better this time. I actually put in my 2 weeks notice 4 weeks ago and I'm still there. So because I told them I would stay until they were not going to be screwed over by me leaving, okay? So we're working on that. Um, so that's what I've been doing. A lot of fun stories of this whole quarantine shutdown stuff, of stuff that was going on while I was outside because I was not spending a whole lot of time in my house. Um, I met a lot of interesting people, but that's not what I really wanted to talk about today. I think the reason I'm procrastinating on telling you guys what has been not weighing on me, but on my heart lately is because it's something that, alright, so what I've realized making these videos is when I put it out there, and even if only some people see it or nobody sees it, I know that it's out there, so it makes me kind of change the way that I'm living because if I say something, I intend to be a person of my word. So when I put it out there, I do have to be more vigilant about my actions and how they affect people because if I do something and then they watch my video, they're like, well, you knew this, but yet you still did this. And I'll give you guys an example of that because I did do that. So I have to be more vigilant with my actions. So I'm not 100% like, yeah, let's talk about, me. Let's be 100% honest about me all the time because sometimes I don't know if I'm ready to give up my temptations or my vices in order to live a more productive lifestyle. Um, and I might talk about that and something else today. About why I'm talking about this. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. 4 minutes in. So what I was going to talk to you guys about today was homosexuality, right? And I don't want to come at it as a I'm telling you how to live your life. I'm telling you what you should do. This is totally from my perspective, my experiences, okay? Because what I noticed was I was watching some stuff online where there were protesters at a festival condemning people, judging people, right? And the reactions that you see when they're doing this, it's never I very rarely see somebody who's like, oh, I hear you. I wanna know more about what you're saying, why you believe that. It's more just who are you to tell me this, right? Like, why should I listen to you when all you're doing is telling me that I'm dirty, I'm unacceptable, I'm a sinner, like all this stuff, right? So it shuts them out. for me, the only way that I was able to even start accepting that kind of change in my life was unconditional love. Okay? And I didn't receive that from any person, thing. I had to look somewhere where that is who they are, right? And I'll explain. But before I get to that, I want to tell you why I felt the need that I had to change. And don't get me wrong, guys. I still, if you watch my labels video, I still don't like accepting labels because it's hard to break out of them. So I'm not saying I'm heterosexual because I'm not. I'm not saying I'm homosexual because I'm not. I'm not saying I'm asexual because I'm not. I'm just trying to abide. Okay? And in my radical acceptance video, I said that a sin for me is just any action that causes another person harm, right? And when I looked at myself honestly and looked at my past relationships, there are 28 women out there who can tell you that I caused them harm due to my selfish actions, right? And my selfish actions foundation was on homosexuality, okay? Because I loved women so much that I could never be satisfied by them. And I know that probably doesn't make sense, but that's just what it looked like for me. And I don't want to draw other people into this, but I have a lot of friends, obviously, because that's how I was for 12 years. I came out when I was 15 and I lived that way proudly for 12 years, right? So I know that community. I love that community. That community means everything to me, and it breaks my heart when I see them being condemned and being judged rather than being accepted. And because when you're accepted, you're more open to hearing, guys. And I learned that from experience. When people kept telling me, I love you no matter what, I was like, why? And they told me why. And that's how I got to know my God, right? So, any action that caused another person harm, I caused other people harm. So for me, my homosexuality was a sin. And if you click off as soon as you hear that, I'm sorry if it makes you feel some type of way, but like I've said in many of my videos, if you're feeling some type of way about something, you should probably look at it, examine it, and wonder, why is it making me feel this way? Question yourself. Question me. I still don't mind if you guys question me. Again, I'll link some of my social media down at the bottom because a lot of people are telling me, if you have a YouTube channel, why don't you have social media? And the thing is, I do have social media, guys. I just like to stay private. And I know that seems like a contradiction because I don't keep anything private. I talk too much. I ask too many questions. So, right now, where I am with the whole relationships with women is I still actively pursue relationships with women. I'm not gonna lie. I am more comfortable around women. I trust women. I am intrigued by women. So I still actively pursue these relationships, but I am honest with them up front, guys. I tell them, if you go there with me, this is exactly what I say. I say, if you go there with me, and what I mean is go there is sexually. If you go there sexually with me, I will destroy you. And I'm not saying that because I'm so into myself that I think I have that power. It's just 27, 28 times I have destroyed people emotionally and mentally, and it's not that that was my intent going into it. It's just I pursue the relationships, and then when I have the sex, there seems like there's nothing after that for me, and I always want more. But after the sex, it's like the firework going off, and it's like, what is there after that? What is there after that? So I would run away because it started to feel wrong. I would leave them. I would get them to leave me. I would do all this crazy stuff because after the firework went off, I just felt not good about myself. And I know that's not the same for a lot of people in that community because they're secure in who they are. And maybe I was just never secure in who I am, but I think there was a reason for that. I couldn't be secure in something that I inherently felt was unclean. And I am just going to say unclean, guys, because any activity you do, you can be unclean in it. Any activity you do, you can be clean in it. There is a way to do things. And I was always doing it the wrong way. And I don't think that for me there is a right way for me to be in a homosexual relationship, right? But since I still actively pursue relationships with women, friendships, I get to know them on a more intimate level because there's never that firework. It's always building up to that. But I don't let it happen. At least, we try not to. Because the thing is, for me, guys, it's still a temptation. Like smoking the cigarettes, it's still a temptation. And speaking of, guys, I haven't smoked a cigarette in a month and a half. Well, maybe a month. Because the last video I made was a month ago. So, like 2 days after that, I quit. I started a program, so I don't smoke anymore, guys. It feels good. So, I know people don't like comparing homosexuality with temptations like alcoholism, drug abuse, and all that stuff because they're like, it's not the same thing. Homosexuality is love. And I get that, guys. It starts with love. Every relationship starts with love, but the reason I feel like homosexuality is a temptation is because there's nothing, from my perception, to gain from having intercourse with somebody of the same sex. Now, if you're like, well, I don't want to have kids, that's fine, guys. I don't want to either. So the path I'm going on right now is I am celibate. Uh, because one, I don't want to submit to a man, and two, I'm tired of hurting women because I do care about them. So I'm choosing to be celibate. Same as I'm choosing not to smoke cigarettes. Same as I choose not to drink anymore. Same as I choose not to do drugs anymore. Because even though those things made me feel so good, like that instant gratification, it made me feel so good, it hurt me in the long run and the short term. I was so in the feels of it that I didn't notice the short term harm, but I noticed the long term. And even though I am changing for the better, in my opinion, I still see the effects that my past actions had on those and those I care about. There's 28 women from my past that I loved dearly, but I can't connect with them because I hurt them so much. So I'm trying. They're coming back slowly, and it gives me the opportunity to make my amends and to find my redemption. But even if they don't forgive me, I know that I will be okay because I have sought forgiveness from my ultimate authority, right? And again, in my past videos, you guys, I said the only way that I was able to start accepting God as anything was to see it as love, because I can't deny love. We can't see it, but we can feel it, right? So I had to, every time I saw the word God, I would just put love in there so that I could be open to listening. So if my higher power is love and love loves unconditionally, then I know that I'm okay, even though I made horrible, horrible mistakes in the past. Speaking of, since I hadn't been on my channel for a month, I did go on there, and I noticed that, you guys, when I made my unprovoked acknowledgements video, that was the second video I made, and it only had like 4 views for months, right? And now it's my #1 most viewed video, and when I first saw that, I was like, okay, cool, people want to see the worst part of me. They want to know what I did wrong. And why is that? I'm not sure. Maybe they want to understand. Maybe it's helping. Maybe they just want something to be like, well, you're not perfect, which I'm not. And I'm never going to be. I strive for it. Oh, I strive for it. But to be perfect would be boring, honestly, because then what would I have to work on? So I'm constantly working on things. But again, the same thing I said in my campaign video is, if I were to have the power to make laws, I wouldn't tell you that you can or cannot do anything. It is your choice. We have free will. It's your choice. But I can't pretend like it's not something that's harming people. Okay? So that's how I feel about this. And the reason I was hesitating on saying it is because now that I'm putting it out there, I know that I can't do it anymore. Like, ever. Because before I put that out there, I could always use the excuse of, I didn't know any better. I know better. I know better. So the one example I wanted to tell you guys about someone knowing me but not caring enough to know me to watch my videos, and then after we broke up they watched my videos and they were like, well, you knew this but you still did this. So I'm going to explain that real quick, and I'm going to tell you one more story after that, and then I'll end it and we'll see if I make another video or not. So my love versus lust video, I talked about this person that I saw long term. Like, I never stopped loving them, okay? Out of the 28 people, I never stopped loving this person. I never stopped pursuing this person. I never stopped caring about this person. So I said that I'm single, but I'm unavailable, right? But then I made the effing Canada video, which was about somebody else, and we dated for 2-3 months, and we went there. The firework went off, so I made it end, and they watched the video, and we're still friends. We still talk every day, and I appreciate them for being an unconditional friend, that even though they know that I did that and that I knew better and I still did it, they still give me the time of day, okay? Which a lot of people wouldn't do. So I appreciate them. They will always be in my circle. But she saw that video and she said, if you knew that you were unavailable, why did you get in a relationship with me? And honestly, guys, I just, part of me kept believing that if I found somebody else to pursue, that I would let go of this person. But I had to explain to them that out of all 28 people, I got into a relationship with this person, right? But they're the only person that I didn't have intercourse with. If I had done that, they would just be another one of the 28 people, because the thing is that firework never went off. I never knew what it felt like, so I kept pursuing it. It's not that they were better or worse of a person than anybody else I met, because there are great qualities in all these people that I knew, but the firework never went off, and it's because they never had the opportunity to go off. And if I saw them now, would I want the firework to go off? Guys, again, sometimes I still crave a cigarette. Sometimes I still crave to go there with people, but I choose not to because I'm tired of the pain. I'm sick of the pain. I'm sick of the hurt, and I'm sick of having to apologize. Okay? And I do it every day. And if you guys are like, why are you on this apology rant? When I was living with that 4-year-old and he kept doing stuff wrong, I was like, all you have to do is apologize. But I realized that, yeah, my mistakes were bigger and had more of an impact. I didn't think I had to apologize. So how am I going to tell him that if you steal from your parents, all you need to do is apologize, but I'm using people for my own selfish reasons and I'm not going to apologize? So yeah, guys, I'm on an apology tour and it's been fun. I've been reconnecting with people from my past by just knocking on their door and telling them like, "Hey, I did this. This is why I did this and I'm sorry. I didn't know any better. I know better now and I hope you forgive me." And you guys, 99% of the time they forgive me. Some people it's a little bit harder, but we'll get there. I hope. And if we don't, it's okay because I'm not the end all. They're not the end all. It is what it is. But it's fun to apologize because, guys, I'm loving reconnecting with these people. I have more people in my life now that I can trust and turn to than I've ever had. Even though I knew a ton of people, I heard a lot of people. So making that amends, I think, builds stronger connections. So I'm having fun doing that. It's hard, I'm not going to lie. The list is long. The distances are far. The amends can be complicated. And, sometimes part of the redemption comes with them telling me how they really feel about me and, who I was and why I don't deserve their forgiveness. Which I do try to tell them that I'm not seeking your forgiveness so much so for me because I'm already forgiven. I'm seeking it so that you can have your power back because I'm tired of having power over you. Well, you don't have power over me. Well, if you're still feeling some type of way about what I did, I have kind of power over you. If my actions are still affecting your relationships, then yeah, I still have power over you, and I want you to take that power back, which is why I'm asking for you to forgive me because, I tell them I want you to see that I'm somebody worth forgiving. I'm somebody who sought out change and accepted the help and am not the same person that I was. I look at that person and I accept that that person was me. I don't segregate who I was and who I am. It's because of who I was that I was able to become who I am. Okay? So, I appreciate it. I don't know if any of this is making sense, and I say that in every video, and then I watch them, and yeah, it kind of makes sense. And I'm still not going to edit, guys, because I got way too much going on. And I know that they say you should give your all into something, and I've been talking to people lately, and I ask them like what they're dealing with, and they won't tell me until I tell them something that I'm dealing with. So I tell them that my biggest problem is that I want to be everything, so I flounder around completing nothing, which is true because had I focused on this channel, guys, I'd probably have a following. I'd probably have people who want to hear me. But since I leave you guys hanging for a month, I make a video. It's like, it's whatever. So the business I'm working on, I'm trying to focus on that, and I'm trying to focus on people, and I'm trying to do what I'm being told to do, and sometimes it's frustrating, but it's doable. So I'm hoping that I start making videos for you guys more often, and like have some sense of a commitment to something other than just existing until I don't have to exist anymore. So, last thing I'm going to talk about. Again, I don't say names, but I've made this friend and she is amazing because again, like I said, I don't let that firework go off, so now I'm just constantly pursuing people, and since the firework never goes off, I get to know the depths of who they are, and it's so much fun. So I've been hanging out with this person, and they told me the depths of who they are, and like I said in my can't remember what video it is, guys, I haven't watched them in a long time, but I said something about you guys are showing me your worst, and this person showed me their worst and told me their worst. And so we sit there and we talk about it, and from my perception, I don't like labeling people, but I've told them this to their face. they have predatory tendencies. And again, guys, I'm drawn towards hurt people and people who hurt people. I'm drawn towards those type of people because I'm intrigued by them. And it's not that I think I can fix them, but they deserve a friend too. Because unconditional love can heal any wound. And again, I always say my love is finite. I'm not God. My love tends to have conditions. Which is usually like if you don't show some type of love back, I start to feel a little like, well, you don't care about me. Why would I care about you? But I'm working on that. But when these people tell me they're worse and I don't run from them, instead I sit there and say, well, let's talk about it. It builds the relationship into something stronger. It's a stronger bond. And fortunately, they're able to trust me. So this person was telling me about their predatory behavior, and I'm not gonna lie, when they first told me, I was like, well, are you gonna do that to me? Like, don't do that to me. And, they're not going to, because the way that their behavior happens is they do this before they know somebody, so then they can know somebody. So they do it for selfish reasons. And so why am I talking about this? Is because they express what they did to somebody and they apologized, but the person didn't accept their apology, and now they feel like they lost a friend, okay? So I asked them, I said, is this something that you would do again? And they said, yeah, probably. And I said, well, then your apology wasn't sincere. So the reason that I have to change is because when I apologize to people and I say, I'm sorry for doing this to you, the thing is, if I'm intending on doing it to another, my apology is not sincere. So when I'm apologizing to these 28 women, if I intend to do this to another woman, my apology is not sincere. Okay? So I have to stop. I don't have a choice. I mean, I have a choice. I can keep being an asshole. I can keep with my asshole tendencies, but I'm choosing not to because I prefer to have a strong relationship over a fallible one. So yeah, now that I'm not pursuing the fireworks, I have a lot of really beautiful, pretty women in my life who want to spend time with me, and it's cool. And you guys, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it hurts when they go and pursue men, but I understand because we all want that companion, and I'll give them advice. As much as it hurts, because in my delusion, I'm still like, well, you should not want that. Of course they do. And it's fine. But I have to have enough self control to not set the firework off so that they'll want to stay. Okay? So, stronger friendships, more long lasting, more of a challenge. I always say I like a challenge. And when I tell these women that I'm not going to give you that, sometimes they're less likely to spend time with me because what are they going to gain from it? But we're learning the friendship is stronger than the sexual relationship, and I prefer that. So, one day I was talking to this person, and we were sitting on a wall in the middle of the night. It was like 11:30, and I was telling them about my higher power, love, God, stuff like that. And I was telling them I'm not religious, guys. When people always say it's a relationship, I was like, I don't understand you, so I'm not going to listen to you because I just don't get it. Okay, and I'm not a religious person, guys, but I try to be spiritual because it's a part of all of us, and if you don't feed into that, you're gonna fill a void, right? So I fill that void with spirituality, with my higher power, with love, with my savior, which I don't talk about him often because of a few reasons. And one day I will get there. Maybe today, at the end of this video, maybe. But honestly, guys, if I make a video on this person, it's gonna take my whole life because understanding what they did for us it blows my mind every time because I'm like, wow, okay. So when I was telling them about my God, they told me, I can't accept something without solid proof, without solid evidence. And you guys, on top of me living in my stuff for 12 plus years, I was also an atheist, right? So I debated with people of every religion all the time, telling them how they're wrong. And I did it so good that you guys, I did make a lot of people turn their back on their faith, which I feel bad for. And again, I don't feel like I have the power to do that, but sometimes we are the voice of the negative side that makes people question their beliefs. So did I make them turn on it? No, I made them question it, and then they found the wrong answers. Maybe not the wrong answers, but they found answers that I no longer agree with, because like I said in some of my past videos, I don't agree with a lot of what I said. Now when I look back at conversations I had with others and I made them question their faith, I kind of feel some type of way about that. So I hope and I have faith that they'll find that thing that makes them feel alive again. But when we're sitting on this wall and she said that, I said, okay, this is how I have to look at it. I said, if you are sitting right here next to me and you go and stand on the other side of those houses where I can't see you. You're behind the houses, right? And somebody else comes up to me, and I start telling them about this person I was just talking to, and telling them about you, and they say, well, I don't believe in them. And I say, why? And they say, well, because I can't see them. You don't have proof they were here. And I said, but I have a relationship with them. I was just talking to them. They're over there. I could show you how to get to them. But if they're unwilling to believe that person even exists, why would they take the effort to walk off that wall and walk behind that house to see that this person is real? That's the same way I have to see my higher power, guys, because I talk to my higher power. I have a relationship with my higher power, but if I tell you about them and you say I need proof, and I say, well, this is how you find them, because I can't prove to you anything. But if I say this is how you find them, and you're like, well, I'm not going to do that. In my childlike faith video, I said the first step is just be willing to believe. You don't have to believe, just be willing to believe, because then maybe you'll find something that you never know existed, right? So, that's where I'm going to end my video today. I hope you're happy. I hope you're content. I hope you're living your best life, and I hope you're passionate. I am pursuing some out of this world stuff right now, and maybe I'll never get there, but it's something to do until I don't have to do this anymore. So maybe one day we'll see what happens. Hope to see what happens with you too. Oh yeah, because I've been meeting these people and they've been telling me stuff. I've known them for years, and I'm finally starting to listen to them. You guys, people are amazing. The stuff they make, really, you should get to know the people around you.